as a Bible quizzer. First, to Brother Jamie Reed for getting Bible quizzing back on track at our church and for being a great starting coach. To Sister Friend for always having a kind word when I need it most. And to my dad for being a fantastic coach and for making me the quizzer that I never thought I could be. I'd also like to thank my teammates, especially Bruce Kennedy. He was my best friend in Bible quizzing, and he made quizzing an absolute blast, and it was a great joy to have him on the team. I'd also like to thank my pastor for his support of this ministry, and anyone else from my church who has continued to support me on this journey. Finally, there are many officials and coaches who have greatly improved my quizzing experience, including Brother Colbert, Brother Ogden, and Brother Stephen Gridson. I've learned a lot from you guys, and I want you to know that I deeply appreciate your influence on me. There are many lessons I've learned, epiphanies I've had, and characteristics I've acquired in this 10-year journey, but I've decided to talk about a theme that I believe applies to my entire career, and that is motivation. When I first started as a junior, the motivation was clear and simple. I wanted to win. And I remember the very first quiz I did at an official tournament. It was over quick, and my thought was, wow, I love winning. And then we faced Gaffney, South Carolina, and after that was over, my thought was, wow, I hate losing. So those two thoughts were all I needed to get me going and to keep me going as a junior. Therefore, I didn't give much thought to what the verses I was learning actually meant. That all changed when I met my 8th grade class in middle school. I had never before seen so many different backgrounds. We had Hindus, Buddhists, Jewish, Muslim, agnostic, and Christian kids, all in the same class. What's more, none of us were afraid to discuss the hard topics, such as gay marriage or abortion. So every conversation at lunch was very interesting. More importantly, thanks to Bible quizzing, I was able to give a purely biblical perspective on every issue we talked about, with verses to back me up. One time, I had to give a persuasive speech to the class, and I chose to argue against the existence of the Trinity. After my speech, I asked one of my Christian friends how I did. His response, I definitely do not believe that anymore. So it's times like these and this great group of friends that I had that made me really love doing Bible quizzing for those years. Unfortunately, high school was a bit of a different story. It's hard to pinpoint exactly what the reason was, but I know I didn't have the same group of friends, and a lot less people seemed to care that I was a Bible quizzer. Due to this and other reasons, my motivation to quiz honestly began to wane. I didn't have the same passion for quizzing I once had. My best friend was no longer on the team, and my environment had changed. However, I have absolutely no regrets for deciding to quiz these past few years and in the past 10 years. In fact, the people I have met and learned from, and the verses I have learned, the time I have spent studying God's Word, learning more about Him, especially from the book of Romans, that was an especially interesting year, have made this time spent more than worth it. And I believe wholeheartedly that God will continue to reveal to me His reasons for me being a Bible quizzing in the future. So to any of you who have any doubts, don't listen to them, because I promise you that this ministry will be worth it. Amen.